Wagwan everybody, this is your girl Cherry Garden and you're tuned in to Caribbean Life TV. Today we're gonna sit down with none other than St. Paul himself. Sir St. Paul, how are you doing today?
Awesome, man. I'm awesome. I'm doing good. I'm happy to be here.
Wicked, wicked. Now, clearly you sound Caribbean, so you gotta tell us which island you're hailing from.
None other but the beautiful island of Jamaica. Montego Bay, Jamaica. You see me? Right.
Fantastic. So tell us a little bit about your background, Montego Bay, and tell us a little bit about your experience growing up in Jamaica.
Well, as a child growing up in Jamaica, my family really didn't have much of everything. But what they had at that time was love. And I've learned a lot. And as a child growing up, I wasn't too far from a church, and I wasn't too far from a rum bar or sport bar, what you'd call it today, with a jukebox. So I could hear music playing from the church, music playing from the rum bar. So my musical influence was gifted on both sides.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was a gift growing up as a child. But, I've learned how to take the little bit and make the best out of it. And I'm still doing that today.
Fantastic. Now, for those of us who don't know, what is your talent, your specialty, your passion?
My talent, specialty, and passion is music. I'm definitely a recording artist, and St. Paul is my stage name, and I've been going by St. Paul for a few years now, and I'm still ready to go by St. Paul for, who knows, maybe another 3-4 decades, you never know.
But you said, you were telling me beforehand that St. Paul is more of, it signifies a transition that you went through in your life. So tell us a little bit about what life as a performer was like prior to your turning point.
Well, as a performer back then, I was more so in the secular world of music, still cultured music as well, but in the secular, I'll touch a little bit sometimes in the dancehall rhythm and still with positive lyrics. But there was a transition in 2017 that allowed me just to go strictly gospel, just kind of walk away from the secular world and just decide, say, hey, let me not just be a singer and let me not just be influencing other people or be an influence to someone's life, but let me do it in a godly and a spiritual way more so.
Okay, and tell us about that turning point that you were talking about.
A turning point, I created a tune called Candy Bar, and I get a major deal out of Candy Bar and was about to go on the road, go on tour, go all the way to Hong Kong at that time if the deal had fallen through. But a few weeks before everything fell through, I had a motor vehicle accident, and unfortunately someone lost their life within that accident. And of course, I mentioned an accident. It was an accident. But not only that, it changed my whole aspect of life. It changed even my spirituality. As to say, you know what? It could have been me who got my life lost at that moment of the accident. And I said, maybe God used that man's life to give me an opportunity to trust him and serve him and to reach out to other people and winning and save soul as well, So it's kind of a sad moment to even explain so much of how that happened, but that was an impact to say, you know what, man, every second that I have left should be spiritually, should be godly, and should be more profound to say, yo, this is where I'm at. So I have to walk away from the circular because it have a better meaning if I go gospel. That's where it is.
Wow. So is that when you wrote your first gospel songs? Was after that point?
No, actually, I was doing gospel music in between the secular. You call it hot and cold, Sometimes I'm in the church performing gospel music, of course, and sometimes I'm in the club or the dance hall performing live. And, it's like, one moment you're over here, one moment you're over there, and sometimes you're indecisive. You're in the club and you sing a song and you have two girls dancing with you, and the next day you're in church doing praise and worship. So it's like, and after that accident, I said, hold on, but God didn't give me all this talent and blessings for taking and praise the devil. So that was a moment, like a turning point right there, And sometimes you have to use the negative and bring the most positive out of it. It's like a turnaround, 360 turnaround.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So basically, were you still going by St. Paul before?
Yes, because of the lyrical contents of the songs that I was doing, the fact that I was already God-fearing, I just wasn't close to God the way I should. And the accident just allowed me to say, hey man, tomorrow is not promising to nobody. So I just continue on the St. Paul and the St. Paul image and the St. Paul performances, but with different lyrical content, with different atmosphere of saying, let me reach out to souls instead of just reaching out to music only. So now I reach out to souls by music or with music. So that's more so a turnaround.
And from my understanding, St. Paul is also involved in Reach Out Ministries. And tell us a little bit about your organization and what you're doing with your ministry.
Lovely. I love that question. Anytime I heard the word reach out, it brings a smile. It changed the whole atmosphere. You can tell I'm smiling with reach out. Well, reach out is designed to reach out and touch a soul, one soul at a time, as you would say, one day at a time. And reach out now is more like an online ministry where you have a lot of people who believe in God, still don't want to go to church because of, they said the pastor stereotype churches now and how people are robbing the tithes and offering and how churches are having their downside. But at the same time, with technology, with the media now, you can reach out even to anyone in the bedroom, in the kitchen, on the street, in the hospital. And sometimes what a person want to hear is not what they're hearing. So if you can reach out to them to where they can hear what you're saying, which have a meaning, that's what reach out is. So reach out is designed by me and my wife, Lady Elian, and we actually give a series every single week of reach out. So we could touch one soul, one life at a time. We also give back, feed the community. Reach Out is an organization to support, to give, and to be in touch with everybody else. It's not we separated just for this. We give you a message, we give you a scripture, and if we could do something to help you, whether physically, financially, or whichever way it works,
Yes, we are one family in the body of Christ. So we're reaching out, touching and saving souls for Christ. Reach out, brothers and sisters. Yeah. Reach out. And we're reaching out to you. Reach out. With love and blessings for you. Jehovah, remember you. What? We're reaching out to you. Reach out now. And we're reaching out to you. With love and blessings for you. Amen. Jehovah, remember you. Say what? And we're reaching out to you. Children, ask and it shall be given, and seek and you will find. Knock and it shall be open. God's love sweet all the time. All the time. Ask and it shall be given, boy. Seek and you will find. That's true. Knock and it shall be open. God's love is a one of a kind.
All right, that was a wicked tune right there. So that's what Reach Out is all about.
Yes, most definitely. I appreciate that.
Wow.
Yes,
so tell us a little bit about that song. I mean, where did that inspiration come from?
Well, honestly, I was making a jingle for Reach Out itself. And the producer said, yo, this sounds better than a jingle. Let's do it formally. Let's make it like a song. So we came up with this idea, single jingle. And the more I get into it, the more inspired I am to make it flow. And after he finished, he said, yo, no, man, it's missing something. So that's when I went back and put in the bridge of saying, so many people have been mistaken, so many lies have been spoken, so much heart have been broken, but heaven gates are still open. So that's where we came up back with the bridge, and it became a perfect singer. So thanks for liking it, by the way. Yes. And I hope you viewers are liking it as well. And
where should they go to watch the whole thing?
Well, definitely the video is already released. It's on YouTube, and you could just go into your YouTube channel and just type in Reach Out by St. Paul and the video will pop up. The single also is already released. It's from iTunes and it's basically everywhere. Spotify, TuneCore, Amazon, Zozak, you name it, it should be everywhere. And if you don't find it in one channel, you just switch to the next channel and it's posted in. So with the media, it should be everywhere in a matter of moments. At the same time, I want you to be personally go and check it out yourself. Don't take my word for it, go prove that. So
yeah, one thing I really liked about the song was the fact that, like you said in the bridge, it started talking about really going through the storms of life and going through situations where you're really down, you're really heartbroken, you're really going through dark times. At the beginning of the song, I thought it was more about community service. So I was giving that vibe, oh, okay, handing out food, make sure that you give back. But then I realized it's even deeper than that. And no, that's good, like that is deep as well. But when you go into that the brokenness, that's something that can touch even scenarios that we've been going through lately in society, quarantine, virus, all of these things that we're emerging from. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. Good example, like how people are emerging, perfect word, from the corona and the coronavirus. This is a time that people are ready to, give back, to support, to live, to share. And sometimes you don't even have to have anything to give. Just even a text or an email or a voice note that just say, hey sis, hey cuz, hey family, hey best friend, how are you? That's a part of supporting. Hey, when they pray last night and my mind company and me start praying for you too. It's reaching out. Reaching out is not just one source, it's sources and it's resources as well for the soul, for the mind, for the body, for the spirit. So one thing for sure, and you already identified, Sherry, that this tune is a universal tune. It's like a multi-purpose song that fits everything we're going through, because you have strong survivor. Think about the people who survived from the coronavirus. Those are strong survivors. So they still want to be loved. They still want to hear from people even years down the road, 6, 7 years, 10 years. You can't just throw them to the side. And how about people who did not caught the virus but being impacted by the negativity of the virus? Everywhere was locked down, this, that. Those people still want to feel like, hey, I'm somebody too, So that's how that come in.
I love it. Amazing. Now, Reach Out Ministries, you say it has its own YouTube page, right?
Yes.
So they're going to type in Reach Out Ministries. And I hear you have some new projects coming up too.
Most definitely. And this one is even more powerful than Reach Out Ministry. This one is called Christian Women and Men of Atlanta. And we can abbreviate that for you to make it shorter if you're trying to find it. It's CWMA. And again, it's Christian Women and Men of Atlanta. And that's a Christian talk show. So you have all these other talk shows going around and people doing their thing, but sometimes you get very little wisdom from it. I'm not saying it's not educational and you don't learn from it, but in a spiritual level, you get very little wisdom. How about a Christian-based talk show where people can be encouraged? And like I said earlier, some people are running from church and churches and the atmosphere. Some people want to be reached out where they are. Better yet, when Jesus was on earth, he does less miracle within the church. He go to the places where you would never thought of. So, that's what Christian Women and Men of Atlanta is considered. It's a male and female panel, and it shoots for one side, like the female hold a certain series, and then it comes back, and then the male hold another series, and then at the end of that episode, both female and male get together with one extravaganza, and they explain how this one did, how did that one do, or whose life has been touched. And it even give the audience ways to call in, text in, email, and give their views. And people can even get saved from just watching Christian Men and Women of Atlanta. So that's our next great project coming up.
That sounds amazing. Oh my goodness. Guys, make sure that you're already connected to Reach Out Ministries on YouTube so that you can stay up to date on all of that, on the music, from the song Reach Out to another song. I see a CD right here, so I think a lot of his music, you can even see little videos.
Definitely. We even have another powerful singer that's doing his thing called He Lives by St. Paul. And we have another one called Dreamer. There's a bunch of St. Paul tunes that are out there in the gospel segment. So once you're on any one of those media channels, you can type in and Google St. Paul Dreamer by St. Paul, Reach Out by St. Paul, He Live by St. Paul, and the list goes on. I can't tell you all the list, but if you Google it yourself, you see what I'm talking about.
That is phenomenal. Anything else that you want the audience to stay connected with you on? I know you mentioned YouTube. Any other platforms they should log on? Facebook?
Well, yes, we're still on Facebook, especially with the Reach Out. We're still on YouTube, and we're gonna be hitting up a few more media channels as time go by. And I'm pretty sure with Caribbean Life TV, you're gonna find us there as well. So we're growing and we're expanding our wings to everywhere. We want this thing to be global around the four corners of the earth.
Yes, that is right. Man, thank you so much for being here on Caribbean Life TV, for allowing us to be one of the first media that really showed you out, because I see you're going to do your media around. So big up to Reach Out Ministries, big up to St. Paul, and the positive vibes and truth that you're spreading, you know?
Yes. And in return, big up to Caribbean Life TV, and thanks for your presence, for grace us and bless us. I'm so excited to be here in front of Sherry Garden and to be the first person to be interviewed with Caribbean Life TV. So guess what? You'll be seeing us coming soon. And remember this though, I can't leave without telling you all this. Remember to put God first place in your life, and you don't have to be afraid. He says, fear not. And if you're going to think about being feared, just go back and look at Psalms 91. And you'll see where God tell you in so many ways by using David. And David's words was, fear not. So that's what it is. So enough respect again. And remember now, check out the tunes them and make it your favorite. I can't tell you which one gonna be your favorite, but I know personally the Reach Out tune is doing it for me, you know. So be blessed, be safe, and you know.
Enough respect. Guys, make sure that you keep it locked to Caribbean Life TV and live bold.
All right, be blessed.
Listen to me carefully now, yeah.
We're reaching out to you. Reach out.